Zeal, my favorite topic, next to love. Next to love. Zeal is a noun, and we'll start with the basics, looking at a dictionary, or a couple dictionaries. One says it's a noun that means great enthusiasm or eagerness for something. A noun that means intense emotion or energetic pursuit of something. And there are so many more definitions. In unity, zeal is the inner flame that burns brightly for all to see. Just let that sink in. The disciple is Simon the Canaanite. He represents motivation and desire to accomplish great things. I think he's also known as Simon the Zealot. The corresponding color is orange, and the location is at the back of the head. I find it interesting that the month of October for unity is orange, and it's also at the beginning of the Truth and Reconciliation, the color orange. So I've been able to wear orange today, and it has a dual purpose. It represents the zeal and also the Truth and Reconciliation. I find this really amazing. When Charles Fillmore was 94 years old, he wrote the following affirmation. Okay, now let's just get this whole thing into perspective. He was 94. If he was like this at 94, I have a belief that he was like this most of his life. It's the essence of Charles Fillmore, and I just love this affirmation. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forward with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Sometimes I find that there's discussions at board meetings, and somebody has some great zeal and enthusiasm, but a lot of time it's for somebody else to do. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's just really feel this, and let's say this. It may not be inside you right now, but maybe over the course of the week, you might feel it a bit more. Any of these affirmations. Because having zeal is a zest for life. That's why we come to unity. Unity provides us with an opportunity for a zest for life. Let's say it. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Another affirmation is, I enthusiastically accept my good and go forward to achieve my purpose. Zeal should characterize the spiritual life. It's in the Bible. In Romans 12, verse 11, it says, never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Okay, I'm just going to take it back one. The 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. I really connect with the words of Charles Fillmore. And so I started by reading the chapter on zeal. The ego, free I. The free I. The imperishable and unchangeable essence of spirit, which man is, chooses every state of consciousness and every condition in which it functions. It does not create the basic substances that enter into these mental structures, but these substances have been provided from the beginning, but it gives form and character to them in consciousness. As men build houses out of lumber or stone or whatever material they may choose to manifest. These mental states are all constructed under the dynamic power of the great universal impulse that lies back of all actions. Enthusiasm or zeal. Zeal is the mighty force that incites the winds, the tides, the storms. It purges the planet on its course and spurs the ant to great exertion. To be without zeal is to be without the zest of living. Zeal and enthusiasm incite to glorious achievement in every aim and ideal that the world conceives. Zeal is the impulse to go forward. Inertia. Death would prevail throughout the universe. The man without zeal is like an engine without steam or an electric motor without a current. Energy is zeal in motion. The energy is the forerunner of every effect. If you desire a thing, you set in motion the machinery of the universe to gain possession of it. But you must be zealous in the pursuit in order to attain the object of your desire. Desire goes before every act of your life, hence it is good. It is the very essence of good. It is God himself in a phase of life. When they called Jesus good, he said, "Why callest thou me good? None is good save one, even God." So the universal desire for achievement, giving its mighty impulse to all things, is divinely good. Divine enthusiasm is no respecter of things or persons. It makes no distinctions. It moves to new forms of expression, even that which appears corrupt. It tints the cheek of the innocent babe, gleams from the eye of the treacherous savage, and lights in purity the face of a saint. Just going to leave it at that. So what happens if you don't have the zeal? The woman in the first meditation talked about how we feel when we wake up in the morning and don't want to get on with the day. I'll always remember this cartoon. And there's a woman calling up saying, "Come on, get up, get ready for school." And the voice comes back, "I don't want to go." And then she continues, she says, "Come on, get going, it's time, you're going to be late." "I don't want to go," is the response. And then she says, "But you're the principal, you have to go." I even felt that way many times, having to go to school. Not really having to go to school as a kid. I love the enthusiasm of a kid who gets excited and looks forward to going to school. My grandchildren are like that. They don't feel, "Oh, I don't want to go to school," kind of thing. Maybe when they get to junior high, maybe they might start feeling that way. When you're lacking zeal, some people might reflect upon themselves as getting into a state of depression. And if you're lacking your zeal for long enough, you may allow yourself to get into what is known as that depressed type state. I've felt it many times. I've lost my zeal. First of all, I want everybody to think, and don't worry, I'm not going to be asking anybody anything to say or communicate publicly. I just want you to spend a little bit of time right now just thinking about your life and the kinds of things that brought you zeal. When did you find you were most enthusiastic about things? What things still, to this day, give you enthusiasm? I have a lot. I get enthusiastic about a lot of things. I loved my hobbies as a kid. I discovered being on stage, in theater, and that enthusiasm led me to do a theater degree at University of Winnipeg. To be doing as many plays and musicals that I could get my hands on or get accepted into. I remember even in my university days when one show would end, how depressed I felt, how down I felt, unless there was something else coming. Okay, then there's, well, but then, okay. Carla's probably noticed it too in my life, my wife. So when we're feeling the lack of zeal, take time to understand what might be causing your feelings. Journaling is one thing that helps with your thoughts and emotions. Now, I got this from Quora. I just typed in, what happens when you lose your zeal for life or whatever, and so different things come up. And this is from Quora, but Quora also has something else that adds to it. The journaling, I don't have everything up here, but the journaling is you write what used to excite you and what you value in life. Okay? So in your journaling, if you're feeling kind of low and lacking some energy and enthusiasm, this is what you should start doing. In a way, it's kind of a gratitude exercise, right? Being thankful for those things that you do have in your life. But this is more than just the things you have in life, or even just the people you have in life. It's the feelings that you've had in your life. Feelings. We've been talking about feelings, haven't we? With the Home with God book, we talked a lot about feelings. This helps you clarify what might reignite your passion. Passion is also connected with the word enthusiasm from time to time. But some of the work that I did with Access Consciousness, it suggested that the word passion brings to mind the passion of Christ, to pick up the cross and to follow him. Passion. Whereas enthusiasm is about that Spirit of God within you, inside you, that brings out the zeal in your life. So then you identify your goals. Set small goals, achievable goals. Accomplishing them can provide a sense of purpose and boost your motivation. Now there's another one that's in, for some reason I got it in the phone, but it didn't come up when I was trying to find it in the computer, and that's trying new experiences. Exploring hobbies. Experiment with new activities, whether it's painting, or hiking, or cooking, or learning a musical instrument. I know that when I retired, picking up the ukulele was a surprise. I was 55 years old and I decided I'm going to try this little instrument. And it changed my life. It brought me great joy. It stretched my mind. I'm sure it helped a few dendrites in my brain to spark up a little bit new. I had felt badly about my inability to learn a lot of new chords in standard tuning. I was lazy when I picked up the guitar and found great solace in the dadgad tuning. So it's much easier to play dadgad and play all the songs I love and use a capo. But the ukulele stretched me. Another new experience is to travel. Sometimes people know that, when you're kind of feeling that burnt out feeling, that you just need to travel and get away a little bit, and it sort of recharges you, right? For me, it might be just going up to Albert Beach and spend a bit of time on the white sand beach of Lake Winnipeg with my wife and friends, and that recharges me. It's only an hour away. Gas, about $30. It's a lot cheaper than going to Hawaii, although I have a great interest in maybe going to Hawaii someday. Connecting with others, okay? So you reach out to friends and family and support groups, sharing your feelings and experiences to provide comfort and new experiences. Well, that's why we're here. That's why we want to exist. We are a social group. We're sharing our experiences of God together with a group of people that we love. And that's what's special about this unity group, and this is why we need to keep it going. This is why I have a zeal for keeping unity going here in Winnipeg. Physical activity is another one in here. Doing exercise, going for walks. Physical activity helps to energize the whole body, all your energy levels, and boosting your mood. It's a form of exercise that you enjoy is best. Like if it happens to be dancing, it could be running, it could be just going for a walk in nature, or for some people it's yoga. Seeking professional help. Well, that may be an option for some of you, but if your feelings persist, consider speaking to a mental health professional. Hopefully here, by coming to Unity, you won't have to go that direction. Because we do mindfulness and meditation here. Number 7. Practices like that mindfulness and the meditation that we do here can help you stay present and reduce the feelings of being overwhelmed. The thing about Sundays, it should try to inspire you to do it throughout the week, every day. We can't meet every day. It'd be nice to meet at sunrise every day and to go through these affirmations. But unfortunately, it becomes your responsibility at that point. Sunday is the start of the week, and try to keep it going if we can. Oh, and also, there's also volunteer or help others. Helping those in need can provide a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Can also shift the focus away from your own struggles. But we can get caught up in that too. Some people, our zeal can sometimes lead us into situations where we get stressed out, burnt out. There's many people that have such a zeal for helping others that eventually they haven't looked after themselves and they find themselves burnt out from all the help they've been giving to others. It's not a panacea for the other. This is a good one. Limiting negative influences. Identify and reduce exposure to negative influences, whether they are people, media, or environments that drain your energy. I've had a bit of a roller coaster ride this week. I was asked to run for president of the Shoestring Players, that group that I do the theater with. And with conversation with Carla, and a little bit of arm twisting, I said, okay. I went into the meeting on Tuesday and I really didn't know what was going to happen, and I really didn't care which way it went, one way or the other. There's another friend of mine who was also wanting to run, and he actively brought a lot of his friends, the ones that have done shoestring in the past. He got them all out to the meeting. They all paid their $10 membership fees or whatever it was, and we got a chance to actually have a little bit of a, not a debate, but at least a chance to share what our vision would be for Shoestring Players. And I thought, okay, whatever happens, and if I didn't become the president. I thought, well, maybe I could do something else. Well, it turned out that I won. And it created a major issue with this other guy. He didn't run for vice president. We all encouraged him to run for vice or a member at large or something. It was either president or nothing. And then he went online and shared how burning bridges with shoestring and all of his people were bad-mouthing shoestring. It's negative, just all negative. And I reached out for forgiveness because I should have warned him that I was asked to run. That was my mistake, was that I didn't warn him that I was going to run and I'd been asked to run. And I reached out for forgiveness and in love and a real olive branch, I think. And it was just torn apart. But that's okay. With Carla's help, I didn't allow it to let me sink deeply. I just kept thinking positively and still looking for what's still possible. What else is possible here? And we have to be patient with ourselves to understand that it's normal to go through phases of low motivation. In some ways, that experience actually sparked even more zeal for me. Going forward, I want Shoestring to be doing workshops, not just productions. And I encourage any of you that would like to explore a part of yourself that you've never even known has been there, which is the power of improvisation, learning to act and create. It's a good lesson in life because we need to understand that we have a power to create the same way as the improvisational actor, it has that power to create. So in conclusion, rekindling your zeal for life is a journey that takes time. By exploring those strategies and being open to change, you can gradually find your passion and joy again. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, and you don't have to go through this alone. Let's have fun with life. Let's have that spirit and zest for life every single day. As Eckhart Tolle talks about, having the power of now. Just having that appreciation for this existence now. Not worrying about the past. The past is gone. Not worrying about the future, because who knows what's going to happen. If we live in our presence, in the now, that's what it's all about.